ॐ प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः. Pranams everyone. We are in chapter 5, Sloka number 21. Shri Bhagavan uvacha bāhya-sukham vindatyātmani yat sukham sabrahma yoga yuktātma sukham akṣayam ashnute. bāhya-sukham vindatyātmani yat sukham sabrahma yoga yuktātma sukham akṣayam ashnute. So Bhagavan, in this chapter, Sannyasa Yoga, Bhagavan had given a description of Karma Yoga, description of Sannyasis, and how Karma Yoga and Sannyasa Yoga lead to the same path finally. And then Bhagavan talked about Samadarshana of a Jnani. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shunichaiva Swapakecha Panditaha Samadarshinaha. So how a Jnani sees the same in everybody, the underlying Brahman in everybody. And then Bhagavan gave the Jnani Lakshana basically facing, he says, na praharshyet priyam prapya nodvijet prapya cha apriyam. So Bhagavan said, where he said, whether facing the pleasant or facing the unpleasant, neither is he elated nor is he depressed. And a person of this knowledge, a knower of this Brahman, is firm in his knowledge and he is free from delusion. So that was the last sloka. Now in these three slokas, sloka number 21, 22, 23, Bhagavan talks about Vairāgya, the necessity of Vairāgya, and Vairāgya mahimā, the glory of Vairāgya. Vairāgya āpekṣā, Vairāgya mahimā. So these are important slokas. And here Bhagavan says in this sloka, Ātma Sukham can be attained only by the person who has turned away from bāhya-sukham. Ātma Sukham can be attained only by the person who has turned away from all external pleasures. Because we, in this spiritual journey, we would think, why can't, while enjoying external pleasures, why can't we also enjoy Ātma Sukham? Why can't we have both preyas and śreyas? Shastras talk about preyas and śreyas. Preyas means that which is pleasurable. Preyas is those that are attractive to our senses. And those things give immediate enjoyment. So these are typically external, worldly, sense-based pleasures. In other words, it's called as bāhya-sukham. And Shastra says, preyas gives us short-term happiness. It gives us happiness, no doubt. But it is short-term and it will not lead to lasting peace in our mind. Whereas śreyas is that which is good, that which is beneficial in the long run, and that which leads to inner growth, and ultimately it leads us to moksha. The śreyas, it does not appear attractive at first, because anything that is considered as śreyas, it involves discipline, it involves restraint, it involves following values, it involves studying of scriptures. But śreyas is permanent. Once it comes, it is permanent. And it is spiritually fulfilling also. It will uplift us from where we are and it will also give us that fulfillment in our mind. So the question that typically people who come to this path ask, why can't we have both sensual enjoyment as well as spiritual bliss? And Bhagavan is very clear here. He says it is not possible. Only if we are willing to give up external enjoyments, we can experience internal joy. Why not both? Why not both? Because it simply cannot be done. If the mind is attached to external things, the mind will never be available for Ātma Sukham. A person who is dependent on outer accomplishments, like I want to have name, fame, money, power, position, that is what gives them a sense of accomplishment. Bhagavan says that you might get that contentment temporarily. You can never be truly contented. So what are these external things? The Upaniṣads, they tell us, Paranchikani Vyatrunat Swayambhuhu. Paranchikani Vyatrunat Swayambhuhu. Ishvara is made in such a way that all our sense organs, they face outward. All our sense organs, they are outward facing. Nothing is looking inside our mind. Our eyes, our ears, they are all looking for things outside. So in a way, he has trapped us. So instead of turning inward to discover our own nature, what happens? Our sense organs, they are always looking for food outside or for some content outside. It is always chasing objects. So here Bhagavan says, Kaschid Dhiraha. Only some people, they can bring those outward looking going sense organs, they can make it look inward. Antarmukham. Now the question is, why cannot one experience both external pleasures and Atma Ananda? That question will still linger in our mind. Why is it not possible? What is the Tatpari? For example, I'm feeling good today. I want to have a lot of good food. I want to have varieties of snacks. And then after having my snacks, I feel contented. Now I come and sit for meditation. I should be able to immediately get deep peace. I should sit for dhyana. I should be able to get peace. Would it not be nice? Because I am able to enjoy both external pleasures as well as get Ātma Sukham, Ātma Sukham. So when I close my eyes, I get Ātma Sukham. When I open my eyes, I get Indriya Sukham. How would it be? Would it not be nice? Bhagavan says it's not possible. Why not? And Bhagavan says, it is not that you will not have bāhya-sukham. If you want bāhya-sukham, go for it. It's bāhya-sukham only then. If you want Ātma Sukham, come to Ātma Sukham. But then only Ātma Sukham. You can't have both. What is the reason? The reason is, if we have to experience bāhya-sukham, if we have to experience external pleasures, then we should have purna abhimana, full identification with the body, sense organs and mind. Because these are the things that are experiencing pleasure. Our body is experiencing pleasure, our sense organs are experiencing pleasure, our mind is experiencing pleasure. So in a sense, if I want them to enjoy, I would have to identify myself with all these things. Some people have weakness in their eyes. Their eyes will keep wandering. Without even their knowledge, their eyes will keep wandering because they have weakness in their eyes. Some people have weakness in their tongue. The tongue cannot keep quiet. So either they have to keep talking or they have to keep munching in something. Some people have weakness in their ears. They want to keep hearing what is happening around. They are always looking for some gossip. Or if any conversation happens at home, they must know it. So they will keep asking others, what was the other person? What did you talk with that guy? So everyone has some weakness in one indriya or the other. And what does this show? So if we carefully analyze, what does it mean is, wherever that weakness is, that is where our abhimana is. That is where our identification is. So if a person is enjoying external sensory objects, it only means one thing, that he has strong identification with the body and sense organs. If the abhimana is very strong or thick, Yoga Shastra, it calls it as abhinivesha. So if a person wants to enjoy external sensory objects, it only means that he has sharira abhinivesha, high identification with the body. Now the question is, I've got identification with body, mind and sense organs. What is wrong in that? If we ask, the question that we need to ask is, are the body, mind and sense organs, are they Atma or Anatma? They are Anatma. So, when a person identifies with the Anatma and runs after all these Indriya Sukham, how can that same person get Atma Ananda, where the very requirement of it is to identify oneself with Atma? So there is a problem here. So that is why it is not possible. And what is Ātma Sukham? Ātma Sukham is basically that contentment and mental peace that we get, or that comes out of the understanding that I am the Atma. That Atma is the real self. So for me to identify myself with Atma, I have to first discriminate between Atma and Anatma, because right now I am identifying myself with this mixture of Atma and Anatma. Now I have to discriminate Atma and Anatma, and then I have to drop that identification with the body, mind and sense organs. And what is this Atma Ananda? Atma Ananda means I am this Atma Swarupa. I am that Satchitananda Atma. I am that distinct entity that enlivens this body. I am that distinct entity that enlivens the sense organs. I am that distinct entity that enlivens this mind. I have to have that clarity. So for me to get that clarity, that abhimana, that identification I have on that body and mind and sense organs must go. So remember, Atma Ananda means it requires disidentification or removing the identification from body, mind, sense complex. So Deha, Indriya, Mana, Abhimana, Tyagaha. I have to renounce my identification on this body, mind and sense organs. Then the mind has to turn inward. And for the mind to turn inward, it must be freed from the demands of the sense organs and the body and the mind. As long as there are demands from the sense organs, body and mind on seeking some external pleasures, the mind cannot turn inward. So Indriya Sukham basically requires the exact opposite of what is needed to attain Ātma Sukham. And what is that exact opposite? It requires, Indriya Sukham requires Purna Abhimana with the body and senses. strong identification with body and senses. Because unless I take the body and sense organs as me or mine, I cannot derive pleasure from them. I had good food today, so I am identifying myself with the tongue now. I feel full, I am identifying myself with the stomach. So I have this Purna Abhimana with body, mind, sense organs for me to derive pleasure out of the external objects. So can this both go together? Impossible. Indriya Sukham, Ātma Sukham cannot go together. It is like a lamp flame. It cannot flicker and remain steady at the same time. There can be, it's either flickering or it's steady. Or another example I'll give. If someone wants to rest and get deep sleep, so that person is very tired, the person wants to get the pleasure out of deep sleep, rest and get deep sleep. Can they simultaneously enjoy a movie? So can I watch a movie and yet derive the pleasure out of that I can get out of deep sleep? Not possible. Sleep means it requires switching off the senses. And movie means my senses must be fully engaged. So that is why Ātma Sukham and Indriya Sukham cannot be enjoyed together. And for that to happen, it is not enough to simply say, okay, I will listen to Atma Tattva, I will read about it, and that is enough for me to get my Ātma Sukham. It does not work that way. We have to apply the intellect at every point of time, as frequently as possible, we should keep discriminating between Atma and Anatma on daily basis. I am doing this, but these are all Anatma. This is Anatma. I am the Atma. I am not actually affected. I am not affected by this. I cannot take pleasure out of this. I am pleasure myself. I am happiness myself. I am bliss myself. That discrimination between Atma and Anatma needs to happen frequently, regularly. That is applying the intellect. And it is not that it has to be done through intellectual understanding. It is not that I have read that this is Atma and that is Anatma, this is all Anatma, and therefore I have to have that conviction. So use my conviction to keep discriminating between Atma and Anatma. Then I have to apply my mind, because unless my intellect is fully convinced, my mind will not agree. And even then, to control the mind is always going to be difficult. Then I have to apply the mind and say, slowly drop this identification with the body and mind. So when we say, how do I drop identification with the body and mind? It simply means do not seek enjoyment from external objects. Do not seek. It doesn't mean do not enjoy. As in, if I am getting good food today, oh no, I should not enjoy it, and therefore I will not have it. That is not what is being asked. It is saying, don't seek, look for it and don't get attached to it. If it is there, enjoy. If it is not there, also enjoy. Doesn't matter. And that is called as Vairāgya. Not seeking enjoyment from external objects, that is called as Vairāgya. Vairāgya means not seeking external objects as bhogya vastu. Bhagya-vastu means objects meant for my enjoyment. Generally, whatever we see, immediately we see something as something to enjoy. Vairāgya is the ability to see them not as bhagya-vastu. Now, if you want to remove this feeling that the objects have been made for my enjoyment, what we should do? We'll have to remove our abhimāna on our indriyas. Even if the indriyas seek for it, I don't give in to it initially. Then slowly the indriyas will decide to not actually seek enjoyment. So Ātma Sukham, what it means is the contentment that one gets from removing the abhimāna from indriyas and body. See, already we have this Atma Abhimāna, little bit. After coming to Vedanta, we will definitely have it. Because initially we might have been thinking that it's only the body mind. But now we have already understood Atma, and we have now mixed Atma and Anatma, and our identification with this mixture of Atma and Anatma. So for us to have this Ātma Sukham, we have to make sure that this identification from the body and mind is removed. So what remains is only our identification on Atma. And so I have to remove this identification, at the same time claim myself to be, I am the Purna Swarupa Atma. And by doing so, I am automatically able to get the Ātma Sukham. I don't need to seek Ātma Sukham. There is no sensual enjoyment in Ātma Sukham. Ātma Sukham is not something that I will be able to enjoy through my senses. The very fact that I am Atma will give me Sukham. That is Ātma Sukham. What is Vishaya-sukham? Vishaya-sukham means I have to seek enjoyment. I have to experience that enjoyment. I have to experience through my sense organs. By connecting the sense organs with sensory objects. And I will have to have abhimāna on my indriyas. If I don't have abhimāna on indriyas, whether it is on my tongue, for example. Some people have probably got Vairāgya on their tongue. So for them, even if you give them something bitter, something sweet, something spicy, something tasty, something not tasteless also, for them it doesn't matter. They will eat and they will not complain. That's because they have not identified themselves with their tongue. And that is Vairāgya. So in that sense, we will have to remove our identification from all sense organs. So Bhagavan says, to enjoy Ātma Sukham, one must consciously renounce dependency on bāhya-sukham. And as long as there is attachment to bāhya-sukham, Ātma Sukham cannot arise. So the question is, does it mean then I have to stop using my sense organs? No. Bhagavan never says that. He only says, do not convert your vyavahara into bhoga. For vyavahara, for transaction purposes, indriyas must be used. Eyes must see, ears must hear, hands must work, tongues must taste and eat. That's natural. But when the same eyes are being used for something bhoga, that's the problem. For example, say, food. When we see food, our usual thought is, this is for my tongue. Whether I like it or not like it is the first thought in our mind. Whether this is my favorite food, not favorite food. Whether I will like it, whether I will not like it. How will it taste in my tongue? That is my first thought. What is Vairāgya? Vairāgya means when we see the food, the first job is, does it nourish my body? Will it satisfy my hunger? That is Vairāgya. I am not seeing to seek pleasure out of it. That is Vairāgya. Similarly, when I meet people, when I meet someone, the first thought that arises from me is, how can this person please me? How can this person make me feel good? What comfort or joy I will get by being with this person? Vairāgya, on the other hand, means he is also Ishvara's form, she is also Ishvara's form. They are not an object for my ego's enjoyment, not for me to be happy or sad with them or comfort with them. I have to meet them because it's transactional. I have to meet them in this life, so I'm meeting them. So Bhagavan says, use the indriyas, but do not develop abhinivesha in the indriyas. Because the one who has indriya abhinivesha, he can never get Atma Jnana. And if you do not get Atma Jnana, you can never taste Ātma Sukham, that inner contentment. So that is the vichara on the Sloka. Now we'll go to the Sloka itself. Bāhya-sparsheshva asaktātma. Bāhya-sparsheshu asaktātma. Bāhya-sparsheshu. Bāhya means external. Sparsheshu means external objects. Here sparsha normally means touch. Here sparsha does not mean just touch. Sparsha here means objects available to the sense organs. So it extends to things that can be seen, that can be heard, that can be tasted, that can be smelt, that can be touched. Bāhya-sparsheshu. In short, all sense objects. In all sense objects, and since all the sense objects are external to me, they are bāhya. Bāhya-sparsheshu, in all external objects, asakta atma. Atma here means antakarana, the mind. Mind. Asakta atma. Asakta means unattached, not attached. So one whose mind is not attached in external objects. Bāhya-sparsheshu asaktātma. In one word, if we have to say, such a person who has Vairāgya. So only after coming to a Vedanta do we really understand the importance of Vairāgya. The glory of Vairāgya. Because what happens, even after studying the Shastras, we may feel, yeah, I know all this, but I cannot let go. I cannot let go of my attachment. I know I am attached, but I cannot let go. That capacity to let go, that is true Vairāgya. One Vyakyakarta adds beautifully, he says, Vairāgya must be born out of Viveka. The fruit of Viveka is Vairāgya. From this, what we can see is that Vairāgya is actually harder to gain than Viveka. Viveka itself is difficult. Viveka is to discriminate between what is real, what is transient, what is Atma, what is Anatma, and have that conviction on that knowledge. And only after we have this conviction, we will be able to get Vairāgya. So Vairāgya, bāhya-sparsheshu asaktātma. So that person whose mind is not attached in external objects, what does such a mind gain? Bhagavan says, Vindati atmani yat sukham. Vindati atmani yat sukham. Vindati means attains. What does he attain? Yat sukham. Yat sukham means what? That ananda, that happiness. Which that? Atmani, which is in the self. So such a person attains the happiness that is in the self. In other words, Atma Ananda. So one whose mind is not engaged in external objects attains that Ananda which is in the Atma. So for us to get Ātma Sukham, we will have to be unattached with external objects. One Atma Jnani put it simply for this Ātma Sukham. He said, Ātma Sukham is difficult, as in it is difficult to find happiness within oneself. There is no doubt. It is difficult to find happiness within oneself. And it is impossible to find it elsewhere. All the external objects, they seemingly give happiness. They do not give us permanent happiness. They entice us for some time. But ultimately, it is all mixed with sorrow. So it is, Ātma Sukham is difficult to attain. But if you think that happiness can be found elsewhere, good luck. You can never find it. It is impossible. So in external objects, it seems like happiness is there. But in truth, it is not. What is there is only Sukha Abhasa, an appearance, a reflection of happiness. And who creates this reflection? Maya. And we do not realize that. And yet we are attached to things, people, situation, some place. And that attachment comes out of our moha, delusion. Therefore, if you look at it, there is a threefold clarity that is required. Three things we have to be very clear. Three things. First thing, understand and clearly know that there is real happiness within oneself. There is happiness within oneself. That I have to have clarity. Because then otherwise I will never be seeking Ātma Sukham. I have to have that clarity, conviction. Second thing I have to understand is that there is no happiness outside. Whatever I see is a deception only. It is all mixed with sorrow. That clarity I must have. The third thing is I will have to take effort to claim that inner happiness. I am the Atma. I am the Ananda Swarupa. But I am not being able to claim it. So I have to claim it now. And how do I claim it? By getting jnana. By getting this knowledge, Atma Jnana. So now a doubt might arise. If there is inner Ananda, then I have to experience it, right? I am the inner Ananda. I have inner Ananda. I should be able to experience it. So does it mean that I am different from the Ananda that is inside the Atma? Am I separate from Atma? The answer is no. Atma is Sukha Swarupaha. We have to clearly know that I am not different from the Ananda that is given out by the Atma. It is not that I am separate and I have to seek this Ananda from Atma, just like I am seeking happiness from elsewhere. I am the Atma Swarupa, I am the Ananda Swarupa, I am the Sukha Swarupa. I am the very nature of happiness. So when Bhagavan says Sukham, he does not mean there is some Ananda inside the Atma, which I as a separate experiencer would have to enjoy, would have to do some necessary sadhanas and understand the Atma. Then I have to, once I get the hold of the Atma, I have to derive happiness out of it. that would make as if that Ananda is an object which is different from me. But that is not the case. We have to have that clarity. I am the Ananda Swarupa. Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa. I am. So here Bhagavan says, attains that Ananda which is in the Atma. We read this. Yad Atmani Ananda. So Ananda that is in the Atma. We have to understand that Atma, the Ananda that is in the Atma is not separate from Atma itself. That we have to have that clarity. What Bhagavan means is the contentment that comes from the knowledge that I myself, I am that Sukha Swarupa Atma. That I have to have. For this we have the 10th man example. I hope we have seen this multiple times. The 10th man example is very important. I'll just quickly go through that story. So what happens? 10 people cross the river in a boat. It's a long, broad river, deep river. They come to the other side of the river. All the people get down. Then one of this person starts counting whether we are all 10. So he counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he counts only 9. Obviously he has missed counting himself and he says only 9 person are there. So he starts crying. Oh, the 10th man is drowned. So next person says, no, let me count. And he also counts and gets only 9. So they are now unhappy, they are sad, they have started crying that they have lost the 10th person. So a wise man comes in and he's asked, what's the problem, why are you crying? So they say, oh, we came here, we have lost, we came at 10 people, now one is lost and we are only 9 and therefore we are crying. So the wise person looks at them and he could see that there are 10 of them. So he says, don't worry, I'll solve it. I'll make sure that you will come out of the sorrow. We will find the 10th man. So then he says, so he starts asking him to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then after 9, the wise man turns his finger inward and he points to himself, that person who started counting. So dasamastutvam, you are the 10th guy. Oh, yes, I am the 10th guy. So everybody starts counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, now they are happy. So when the missing 10th man is identified, discovered, there is relief, there is joy. The 10th man was always there. The 10th man had never been away. There was no loss. There was nothing new was found. In the same way, the Atma is always there. Only thing, we haven't realized that we are that Atma. And the sorrow that we had is the samsara that we are in. Because we are having this abhimana on body and mind, because we think the world is different from me, we are feeling the pressures of the world. Because we think that the 10th man is drowned, there is sorrow. But once I have discovered, there is relief and joy. And the joy has not come because something new was found. There was not the 10th man was actually picked up from the river and said, here is the 10th man. So here is something different from you. No, it was always there. The joy comes because we realize that nothing was missing at all. In the same way, once I realize that I am that Ātma Sukham, nothing is missing. I am the Purna Swarupa. I am contentment. I am the Purna Satchidananda Swarupa Atma. There is no need for me to crave for anything because I am all-pervading, omniscient. Not omniscient, at least I am all-pervading person. And I am also Jnana Swarupa, so I can be omniscient also. So, in the same way, the Sukham that Bhagavan speaks here is the deep contentment that I am never lacking. The problem for us is, why do we seek external pleasure? is because I lack happiness within me. So I seek happiness outside. And once I get that clarity that there is nothing to be gained or found outside myself, because that I am Purna, I am the Sananda Swarupa. That is the end. I don't need to do anything more afterwards. And who gets such contentment? Bāhya-sparsheshu asaktātma. Only one whose mind is not attached to external sense objects. Only one who is established in Vairāgya. Because what we normally do, we search for joy in external things. House, car, possessions, wealth, family, health, children, marriage, all those things. Thinking that this will give me external happiness. Once I get that house, happiness. Once I get that job, happiness. Once I get my children settled, happiness. Once I get my children married, happiness. Once I get my grandchildren, happiness. But in reality, these are the things that bind us. These are the things that bring us sorrow also. So if I truly knew that running behind this will bring me sorrow, I will never go against them. I will not chase them. In Bhaja Govindam, Shankara Bhagavad Pada, when he gives a commentary, he explains someone who has inner contentment. And despite having nothing externally, he says, Kaupinavantaha Katubhajyavantaha Munda Munda Vaktraha Madho Parigraha. Kaupinavantaha, wearing only this lion cloth. There is this humble ascetic, this humble guy who is in the forest. Katubhajyavantaha, he is eating simple coarse food. Whatever is available in the forest, there's barks, trees, leaves, fruits. Munda Munda Vaktraha, his head is shaven. Basically, he has renounced everything. Basically, he's renouncing the vanity. He's renouncing. Why do we shave? Why do people shave? Because hair is one where we look at beauty. So if you actually remove the hair, people do not look as good as what they are supposed to be or when they have hair. So removing hair, it reduces the feeling that I am beautiful, I am youthful and things like that. So to reduce that, to renounce that. Then Madho Parigraha, free from pride and possessions. So Shankara Bhagavad Gita, he says, such a person, though he is externally poor, he is humble, he finds sukha within himself, Ātma Sukham. And he is not dependent on external things. He is not dependent on houses, cars, wealth, comfort. He is free from attachment. And his source of joy is only the self. So just like this, bāhya-sparsheshu asaktātma. The mind is not attached to external objects. The happiness arises in the self. So this person has discovered that he is this Purna Ananda Swarupa Atma. Vindati Atmani Yat Sukham. He has realized that he has attained the Ātma Sukham and there is for him nothing more to attain, nothing more to gain. So after listening to this, there could be some people who can say, okay, let Bhagavan give me Ātma Sukham first. Then I will let go of bāhya-sukham. Okay, I can have only one. First give me Ātma Sukham, then I can let go of bāhya-sukham. Bhagavan says, no, sorry. You will have to first let go of seeking happiness from outside. Then only I will be able to show you internal happiness. It doesn't happen the other way around. But to understand something also, I will have to warn you, even after letting go of external happiness, one may not get internal sukham immediately. It is not immediate. There will be a cusp, there will be a time when you are neither here nor there. That time will be very difficult. At every stage of spiritual life, small things There will be always a cusp. You will have to lose some friends and you will have no new friends. Until you get into a satsang, you will be left in no man's land. You will have to go through all this. So you will have to realize that this is the price that you are willing to pay for something greater, for something higher, for something that is long lasting, for something that is permanent. That period of cusp is the period of jignasu, the period of mumukshu, where you are neither a jnani nor a samsari. You are a mumukshu, you are a jignasu. There will be a moment of this, subtle sorrow. I am neither here nor there. People are not accepting me there, whereas I am not fully convinced here also. I am not fully committed to this side also. It's state of Trishanku. So that's how it happens. So if we probably step out of this, this friend circle of gossip material, they talk about gossip, they talk gossip, they talk about movies, they talk about clothing, they talk about jewelry. Our mind may not immediately settle. So, and what happens if we go there for some time and if we come back, our mind is so much there that we will not be able to settle our mind on Vedanta. We may not be able to listen. We may not be able to sit and read a few pages. Our mind will be constantly wandering. The mind will not settle down. We will not be able to get into spiritual practice. And then we might feel uncertain. Did I do the right thing? Because we see that the friends who are actually gossip mongering, they are in the materialistic, seeking materialistic pleasures. They seem to be enjoying themselves. Sometimes it might ask us to doubt the Shastras. But the key is Shraddha. Shraddha and take hold of, catch hold of Ishvara, one Ishta Devata, somebody. They will guide us. That Ishvara will guide us. Slowly the mind will stabilize. So slowly the mind will develop a liking for Vedanta, that we will not seek gossip, and even if we are there, we may be a very passive person. We may not be actually participating. So as once we develop deep Vairāgya, the mind settles. The Ātma Sukham, the inner happiness, naturally emerges. Vairāgya itself will give us a lot of happiness. Forget Ātma Sukham. If we get Vairāgya itself, the happiness that we get out of Vairāgya, in Taittiriya Upanishad it says, 1 unit of happiness, if a person gets 1 unit of happiness by experiencing something, that person will get 100 units of the same happiness if he has Vairāgya on the same object. Vairāgya itself will give tremendous happiness, substantial happiness, far more than what we can get out of external pleasures. So the joy or happiness that we can get out of renouncing attachment on the object, that is called as Vairāgya. Renouncing attachment is called as Vairāgya. That's enormous. That is why people take up Sannyasa. Why are people taking up Sannyasa willingly? Some people might think that, these people are, they don't have anything better to do in their life, or they are failures in life, or they are not able to study or yearn, and therefore they have taken up Sannyasa. No. People who have studied, who are extremely intelligent, they have taken up Sannyasa. They are not foolish. They are not ignorant of life. They understand the secret. The secret is, by renouncing something, I actually gain more happiness than by experiencing that. But to even realize that, one must have enormous amount of punya. One must have punya, one must have inner readiness, that shraddha, for them to realize that actually by renouncing I will get happiness, and then you will have the conviction, then you will be able to renounce, then you will get that happiness. Now, oh my God, second line, we have to go. Sab Brahma Yoga Yuktatma Sukham Akshayam Ashnute. So Vairāgya gives happiness, and when it is combined with Brahma Jnana, the person attains complete unqualified happiness. That complete unqualified happiness means, what is this? That happiness comes without taratamyam. In Sanskritam there is this taratamyam. Taratamyam means some kind of gradation. There will be no gradation. In external pleasures there will be always gradation. My first rasgulla or gulab jamun will not give me the same happiness as my 10th rasgulla or gulab jamun. Or what I like from one, I will not be able to get the same happiness when I am moving with another person. Whereas in the case of Ātma Sukham, Brahma Jnana, it comes without any taratamyam. Sab Brahma Yoga Yuktatma. Brahma Yoga means seeing Brahman alone. Perceiving the Brahman as the Adhisthana. Being able to understand that the Brahman is the foundation of this entire world. In Ajnana, we see everything in this world except Brahman. Why we see everything as different? The reason is we are seeing through the eyes of Raga Dvesha. We have our likes and dislikes, and therefore everything is different. As in, I like it, I don't like it. I like it, I don't like it. Sab Brahma Yoga Yuktatma means a person whose mind is engaged in Brahman. This person is able to see everything as Brahman. Brahman as the Adhisthana. Yuktaha means one who is fully joined. Means Bhagavan has used Yuktaha multiple times. You will be using Yuktaha again and again. Yuktaha means enjoined, completely coupled. He is anchored in Brahman. Yoga Yukta Ātma. Ātma here again it means mind. Whose mind is always anchored in Brahman. Brahma Yoga Yukta Ātma. The mind is always engaged in Brahman. We might have to think but understand something. When we have Brahma Darshanam, does it mean that I will have no problem? Life will always be happy? No. That will also not be there. There will be prarabdha. Even a jnani will go through prarabdha, but the Brahma Darshanam will be steady. He will not waver, he will not have any problem. And for this Brahma Yoga Yuktatma, what does he attain? What does he get? Sukham Akshayam Ashnute. Ashnute means attains. What does he attain? Akshayam. Akshayam means infinite. Akshaya Patram, we have seen. Akshaya Patram gives infinite, unlimited food. Infinite food. Lasting. It doesn't finish. So Akshaya means infinite, lasting, Purnam. Akshayam Sukham. Lasting Sukham, lasting Ananda, Purna Ananda, infinite Ananda. What it means? He has attained the self. He has got infinite happiness. He is on a bliss. See, when we started this spiritual journey, we said moksha is the destination. Moksha is the destination means it is not a place that I have to go in this journey and attain that place. What is moksha? Me, self. I have to attain myself. The whole journey is for attaining myself. All the sadhanas are attaining the self only. Meaning, so far I have been moving bāhya-mukham, I have to change it to antar-mukham. That is the journey. That is the journey. The journey is not outside, the journey is inward. So the essence of this sloka is one whose mind is not attached to external objects. he attains that Ananda which is in the Atma. He whose mind is always anchored in Brahman, he attains Akshayam Sukham, lasting Ananda. Moksha, he attains complete contentment. That is the essence of this sloka. Any questions or comments before we go to the next sloka, or next, maybe we'll take it in the next class. Any questions? Right. Okay, we'll see probably in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.